Hey guys, I'm Zach Phillips.
And I'm Mary O'Neill Phillips, and this is Forrest Gump, and we're from Country Outdoors.
We film an adventure tour on the Outdoor Channel, and we use the camper for our home base.
We've had so much fun over the last year in and out of hunting camps, fishing, hunting turkeys, hunting deer, playing with our dog, and guess what? We have some RV pro tips just for you. And these are our RV pro tips on how to pack your RV for a hunting trip. We've had about a year now to figure out our storage, where to put things, where not to put things, and I think we finally have it figured out. My first tip is all about storage and purchasing the right storage containers, which you can get at Camping World depending on what you need, whether or not it's storing your weapons, your clothing, your camera gear. You really need to have everything stored up so that it doesn't knock around and you don't break it.
By nature, RVs are a small space, but they put a lot of thought into storage in these things. So you need to really take a look at it and utilize the storage to the best of your abilities. We have a toy hauler, so I essentially just have my garage behind my truck at all times. So I just put a lot of thought into how I pack it to where everything fits. There's a lot of room. We can put kayaks in it. I put my camera gear in cases back there, coolers, ATV. There's a lot of room back there, so it's a little bit of a game of Tetris sometimes, but you just gotta look at it and think about how to best effectively pack it and unpack it.
One of the benefits that I love of having a toy hauler is it gives us a lot closer access to where we are hunting. We can pull the unit up, we can drive out on the ATV and get really close to the deer stand, and we don't have to do an hour or so drive to get into there. I use some of the drawers in the unit to put all of the electrical cords away, because when you are driving and you're moving the slides in and out, they can actually get stuck in there, and that's a really nasty thing to happen.
Between locations, we're driving on a lot of bumpy roads or off roads. So in the kitchen, we just utilize the storage in the cabinets for putting things that are breakable so that we don't have them shattered all over the floor.
We've learnt that lesson the hard way by leaving wine bottles out on the counter. Now I store them in one of the kitchen drawers, and I put some of my little kitchen mats in between them.
Yeah, and one time the big container of coffee spilled on the floor, and I walked in and there was just coffee all over the camper. So store those in the right spot.
And make sure you also purchase a broom.
Our outdoor storage I use just for anything that I don't want inside the house, whether it's equipment for the jack stands, the truck, extra gas cans, anything that I don't want to be in the house goes in the outside storage.
I also use the outdoor storage for storing the outdoor mats, the decorative outdoor mat, and all of the sloppy dog toys. In our toy hauler, we have storage under our bed and also under our sofa/dinette. I use those to store blankets and any of the linen that we have.
The best way to maximize storage space for a hunting trip is to plan effectively. Spend time in preparation and take what you need and leave the rest at home. Prior to a trip, we always make a list and just make sure that we have all the products we need. We almost always have our generator, always have a cooler, a good pair of optics,
clothing, boots, obviously our weapon, and snacks.
A lot of snacks.
A lot of snacks. But yeah, the point is we make a list and we go through it so that we don't overpack in that area, but we pack smart. We utilize the space for our hunting gear by being very selective on what we take. We use a lot of storage boxes. So we will have one storage box for our clothing, one storage box for the weapons that we decide to use, and then another storage box for camera gear.
I would recommend that you know the weight limit of what your RV can carry and plan effectively. With a toy hauler, we're carrying an ATV that adds a whole lot of weight. So when you're doing that, think about what else you're carrying. Do you have a full tank of water on board, or do you keep it empty? And how much stuff do you actually bring that you don't need? So you pack effectively and be mindful of how much weight you're supposed to have on the camper. Besides the obvious, the most important thing that you can pack is your clothing. Pay attention to the weather and pack appropriately. If you are underdressed and you're in the elements, you're not going to be in the elements for very long, or you're going to be in a bad situation that's potentially dangerous.
For me, the most important thing to pack, aside from my weapon, is a GPS. I'm a little bit directionally challenged, and things could get pretty hairy if I didn't know where I was going.
Hopefully these RV pro tips were helpful.
Make sure to check out the other Camping World RV pro tips to take your RV knowledge to the next level.